What up, guys? Here we are with another video. This is... I seen this video when I was going down YouTube. It said child support system is broken. It is. It so is. And this is from a YouTube channel, Lead Attorney. I'll leave the link in the description. Can actually look at more of his videos. I actually like this topic. I did a reaction to another child support case. It was from a child support TV show, court TV show. Can't remember the name of it. But I'm going to do a reaction to this to see what makes him say that it's broken. I know that it's broken. Personally, myself, I went down that rabbit hole. I wish that on no person whatsoever, because that's like one of the court system. I feel like they just don't care about this. They wave that shit off. This, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I want to hear what you got to say. But let's see what he actually had to say.
Lead Attorney here. Hope you guys are doing well. I've
What's
been
up?
a family law attorney for 19 years now. And
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you today why the child support system is unfair. Now, what does unfair mean? Does it mean that the child support system has to...
Unfair mean shit, you know, it's unfair, bro. It's unfair. No, I'm playing.
Give atrocious results in every case? No. It simply means that the system is not based on behaving according to principles of equality and justice. That's...
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
the definition of unfair. And I'm going to demonstrate to you subscribers, to you members of the jury, that our child support system here in the United States is unfair. Now, to do this, it would be easy, so easy for me to cherry pick some crazy one-in-a-million type of case. Or I could simply show how Dennis Rodman was ordered to pay $50,000 a month in child support.
Oh.
Daddy was paying $55,000 a month, and Charlie Sheen was paying $110,000 a month for his children. I am not going to take the easy road and talk about celebrities. I'm going to use an everyday type case with an everyday type guy.
Yo, those amounts right there. You might as well kill yourself. Like, how do they come up with these numbers? Well, I know how to basically judge it. Well, if both of y'all stayed in the same household, blah, 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 this is how much money would go towards y'all combined household, whatever. Whoops, whatever the case may be. But, bro, I'm making $50,000 a month. Put that in years. Like, I don't really have to do that and just take a check. But yeah.
A guy that did everything right. By the way, there is not one of you subscribers, not one of you members of the jury that $1,000 a month for his children. I am not going to take the easy road and talk about celebrities. I'm going to use an everyday type case with an everyday type guy. A guy that did everything right. By the way, there is not one of you subscribers, not one of you members of the jury that cannot find yourselves in this type of situation. That's why I picked it. Now, how did I find this case? YouTube suggested it to me. They know I'm the lead attorney. They send me so many child support and divorce videos. They want me to keep making these things. I came across a video of a guy whose channel name is LA Drake US. We're just gonna call him LA. It's a child support update video. Looks like he filmed it in his car outside of his job. He works at the post office. Just a normal guy like you and me. And listen,
LA.
at the end of his video, he asked for help. So I, the lead attorney, am gonna give him a few tips. You definitely wanna stick around for that. Now, we're going to talk all about his circumstances, and we're going to see if there's anything that you can learn from his situation. Guys, the video that LA made is pretty short. This is going to take me about 6 minutes. If you don't have 6 minutes to learn about how the child support system is flawed, then you can click on one of these Beyonce videos. She can tell you all about how you should have put a ring on it. And let me tell you something else. This is an extremely important video. It needs to be shown to every graduating senior in high school. It needs to...
Facts. It need to be shown to everybody to let them know, hey, if you're gonna jump in bed, boy, you need to know this. You need to know what could happen. And I don't mean could like, oh, it's a 1 in a million shot. No. Try 1 out of 3. Hell, 2 out of 3 chances that this gonna happen to you.
To be shown to every freshman in college. This video exposes the child support system for what it is. The reason that it is so important.
Look, I like the fact that he actually got the dude right there at the bar, looked like he had a bar, getting a drink, because, bruh, just like the Bruno Mars song. Sorry, don't mean to say Bruno Mars. Silk Sonic. Okay, I listen to a lot of Bruno Mars. Silk Sonic, smoking out the window. That's because, what the female was taking that man through. And they need to be talking about drinking at the bar. Somebody need to have a song about that. Probably already did. Just saying, throwing that out there. Let's go.
Is because it can so easily happen to you. And guys, understand that this man is doing what I wish all of you men would do. He is telling his story. He is in this situation because no one told him what was waiting for him down the road. If you have child support issues, it's because no one told you either. That's why I'm making this.
Shout outs to Fatherhood Pride, okay?
Video. That's the whole point of the channel. I want to be that old uncle that you never had at that barbecue who happens to be an attorney who's putting you on game. Now, if you hit the like button, YouTube will push this video out to young men. I can see the demographics on these videos. Don't feel the need to repost this video to Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. That's hard. Just hit the like button and let YouTube do all the work for you. Once you hit the like button,
bro, I'll hit the like button.
This video out to young men.
I need to share this.
Get this message out.
Sorry, I'll hit the like button. Most definitely, I will hit the like button. But nah, bro, I'm gonna share this too. I'm probably Facebook Messenger a couple of people.
We need to feed these young men this information. Now, what have we got? What is LA's situation? He has 3 kids, 3 daughters. That's a handful. For his 3 daughters, he was paying child support. That's normal, right?
Yep.
Well, listen to what he did. He went to custody court. At the custody court, he fought for joint legal, joint physical custody. And guess what? He won. Somehow he won. That's awesome. Men,
that is great.
What you need to be asking for if your circumstances allow it. In fact, I think that this should be the default in every case. Now, should every case always be joint physical custody? No. There are cases where fathers should not have it, and there are cases where mothers should not have it. Each case should be looked at on an individual basis.
Most definitely should be looked at an individual basis. But no.
But in every case, the starting point should be 50-50. No child support. Each parent takes care of the children when they're at his or her home. The idea that mothers are naturally better parents than fathers is baseless, and it's demeaning to the huge role that fathers play in children's lives. To automatically give a man visitation with his own children is outrageous. Look.
Hold up. I want y'all to just grasp what he just said right there. Because it will get to a point they'll get a man burnt out to the point that he might think or want to do some crazy stuff. I'm going to back that up.
What you need to be asking for if your circumstances allow it. In fact, I think that this should be the default in every case. Now, should every case always be joint physical custody? No. There are cases where fathers should not have it, and there are cases where mothers should not have it. Each case should be looked at on an individual basis. But in every case, the starting point should be 50-50. No child support. Each parent takes care of the children when they're at his or her home. The idea that mothers are naturally better parents than fathers is baseless, and it's demeaning to the huge role that fathers play in children's lives. To automatically give a man visitation with his own children is outrageous. Luckily, there are states like Florida, like California, where LA is in, that are being more flexible. They're coming around.
Florida? Boo. Okay, I'm gonna hear that.
Come to Atlanta and try to get that 50-50. Automatically give a man visitation with his own children is outrageous. Luckily, there are states like Florida, like California, where LA is in, that are being more flexible. They're coming around. Come to Atlanta and try to get that 50-50 custody. Maybe our conservative judges will change in a decade or two, but for now, you can just...
Why showing all the people with the old wigs from like the 1800s? Wow. That's hilarious.
Generally forget about it. Also, and here is a lead attorney legal lesson. Notice that there's not just one justice system in the nation. The justice that you receive as a father will depend so much on the state that you're living in. Fathers get treated one way in Atlanta, another way in New York, another way in San Diego, and then another way in Miami. Think about that for a second. The access that you have to your own children can depend on what part of the country those children live in. It's amazing the arbitrary things that control some of the most important things of your life. But that's just food for thought. Getting back, we've got a great father who has fought for and won joint legal, joint physical custody of his 3 daughters. What does that mean in terms of child support? It means that it's stopped. He's no longer paying. It's a done deal. He beat the child support system. So you say, lead attorney, what's going on? You said this video was about child support. This man's not even paying child support. Why are you making this video? Why are you saying that this video
I'm not asking. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's see what's going on.
Okay, what's up, y'all? This is an update on my child support situation. I done went through custody court, and the conclusion was this. Child support stopped. I got joint legal, physical custody of my 3 daughters. Child support stopped.
Okay.
It did, and I kid you not, right after it stopped, the first chance my ex got to get back on welfare, cash aid, she did it. She told them people that I wasn't around. She had the kids, and I wasn't around. Didn't even tell them that we had a custody agreement.
Fellas, I hope you're listening. Fellas, all she can do is just say, hey, he ain't doing that and I need assistance. Better pay attention. Better pay attention.
Uh-oh. What do we have here? A little welfare fraud. After the...
Yeah, but... just know this. Even if the mother was found doing a little fraud, I'm not saying that this is true or not, blase squale. The state probably ain't gonna do ish about it.
Child support stops. The mother has much less income. Now she can't afford to live. So what does she do? Does she go out and get a job like you or me?
Hell no.
No. She applies for government aid. Now, listen, members of the jury, there is nothing wrong with government aid. I have lived in a country with no government aid, and you do not want to live in a nation like that. This aid...
Oh yeah, you don't want to stay in a country with no government aid. Trust me, the government takes care of their people.
Is a huge help, and life can be so rough. Any one of us can find ourselves needing that helping hand. Don't ever look down on anyone on government aid. It's a
don't do
blessing
that.
that it's there. What you can and should look down on, though, is the fraud that this lady used to get the aid. Why lie? Tell the truth and let the government decide whether or not you qualify. But
why let the government decide when she can easily tell the story and get whatever the hell she wants?
no, she didn't do that. She told the government that LA was not around. Told the government that she had the kids. So what did the government do? Did they do their own investigation? No.
Hell no.
No, they didn't even take the time to run her name through the system.
Exactly.
To see if she had been to court over those kids. If they had, they would have seen the whole custody case.
But ain't how the whole system work. They don't care.
They would have seen how LA had joint legal, joint physical custody of the children. They just took her word for it. Why would she lie? Now the government thinks that LA has abandoned his responsibilities as a father. So what do?
So I got a letter from child support saying that they was going to reopen the case on a certain day. I had to appear in court to talk to the judge about it.
Jesus. Oh yeah, the government.
And whenever you get he's probably gonna say it, but whenever you get that letter appear in court, drop whatever the hell you doing. Don't even care you got a funeral that day. They don't care. Get there. And hopefully you're fortunate enough to have an attorney, but it's more important for you to get there because most of us can't afford no attorney or have a representative unless you proven you went through like whatever father program your state actually offers. I know the one I went through. If I ever have to go back, I have a representative, so I'm good on that one. But if you ever been to one of these courts and how they actually talk down to whoever is on if you're facing the judge, whoever's standing on the left side, they don't give a damn about you. All they care about is supporting that person on the right, that they actually have somebody standing there and being their representative at all times. But if you stand to the left, all that talk you're doing to the judge, womp, 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 womp. Oh, and small note, we'll get back to this. Please don't be that person that have to see the judge next behind somebody else. What I mean by that, the person in front of you piss the judge off, got on the judge nerve. Judge is in a bad mood and actually, I don't know, something the person out and all that, and angry. So when they say, next case, you have to be the most pleasant fly on the wall. Because however that judge feel at that moment will determine either they're going to hear you out or not. That is very important. Let me just put that out there right now. All right, let's go. Not like I wouldn't know a thing about it.
Government's on the case now. They have issued him a citation saying that they are reopening the child support case. That is, reopening the same child support case that they just closed. Remember, a judge had already ordered that he stop paying child support. The judge ordered that because he won joint custody of the children. Now they are going back to reopen it because they think he's not around. Now, throughout this video, you will see how LA makes one great decision after another. First, he fights to get joint custody and wins. Then they tell him that they're going to reopen the case if he doesn't show up and
because they'll want him to win.
Explain why they shouldn't. Now, you are thinking that it's obvious that he should show up and fight the case.
Damn right, show up.
Well, you would be surprised at how many people ignore letters from the court requesting that they appear.
Facts.
They just ignore it, or they show up a month later because they didn't see the letter in the mail, or they got the dates all.
Hell, that's even if you even get the letter. They might send it to an unknown address you moved away from like 3 or 4 years ago. And next thing you know, you got a bench warrant. But, oh, and then it's your fault that you didn't go update your address and all that in the system, even though you did a change of address and everything else. But they don't care.
Confused. They missed the hearing, but not our man LA. Bright and early, on time, he shows up to court to clear up the mistake. He's doing everything.
I really hope they fixed his matter, because this man is, so far in this video, is doing everything. He showed up bright and early. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Everything right.
I goes to court. She was there.
She was there. Let me jump in right quick. Listen, he had a child support case. They closed it because he got joint.
Oh yeah, she is there. She's not going to tell the truth. I have to see the rest on that one. I know the lady ain't telling the truth. She want to get whatever money and kind of thing she get. If they have joint custody, there's no need to be there.
Joint custody of his 3 daughters. Now the ex lied to get it reopened. But it's a pretty immature lie because there's a court order showing that LA's got joint custody of the kids. So all LA has to do is
I bet you $5 that he showed up with proof that he have joint custody, and the judge not gonna give a damn. Bet you $5.
Go up and tell the judge about the custody order. Then the judge will reclose the child support case. It's easy. Case closed. So you say to the attorney, he's not paying any child support anymore. What's the big deal? Why the video? I hear you. Let's see what happens.
I goes to court. She was there, and the judge was pretty much saying, what could I afford to pay?
That's the first question they ask you. When they ask you that, they just want to give it. How much you give a pay? They try to get your finances, and then probably overcharge your behind. Well, like, nah, you can pay a little bit more than that. It all depends on how the judge feel, or hell, what type of judge you got. Man, let me.
And I'm like, we have a joint custody, 50-50. And the judge was like, well, I'm not the original judge. I'm just sitting in, but based on what's going on today, I think about it and I make my decision, and you'll get it in writing.
All right, let me stop right here. Remember when I told you that you
See?
can get different treatment based on which state you live in? You will also get different treatment based on the different judges within your state. You members of the jury might think that the outcome of the most important case of your life will not depend on who sits in a particular chair.
But it does!
day. Every single attorney knows different. In fact, attorneys often fight and scheme to try to get their case in front of a particular judge.
Yep.
We have all done this. It's so important. Now, LA tells this judge that it's all a misunderstanding. It's really a fraud, but there's a court order saying that he's got 50-50 custody of his 3 daughters. What does the judge say?
Like, he got a court order, and court orders have a date on it, and you'll see another judge already signed off on the exact same case. But, like I said, I already knew the judge ain't gonna give a damn. Only thing the judge care about is how much your ass gonna pay. So, maybe he should go back and put her on child support and say she not there. But, you know what? They don't care about what the dude say. Then they'll throw the case back at him and say, well, we see you here have to pay child support, even though you have another case of the same thing that you have joint custody. But now we're going to put that custody to the side. You just have to pay child support. That's it. They ain't going to care about shit.
She's like, I don't know about all of that.
I'm not the original judge. I'm just sitting in.
All I want to know is, how much can you afford to pay?
And the judge was pretty much saying, what could I afford to pay?
My question is, why don't you know about the custody order? You're a judge in the system where
the judge don't care about. I know he's an attorney, but I can answer that question. No, because the judge sit there, they get case by case. They could go the extra mile and look into it if they feel to, but if you got a judge that just don't care and just there for the check, like, yeah, whatever, you got this, blah, blah, blah. So how much can you afford? All right, cool, child support this. All right, next case, please. Let's run this out. You know what? Break time. I got to go pee and pull my robe up. You know, something.
The custody order was issued. The file is online. Check the file. It's right there. The judge won't do it. Why not? Because even though it's...
Judge have their own personal computer. They can look in different stuff. And they have like 4 other people in the courtroom that can look up stuff for him faster. For him or her.
Same system, there are different parts within the system. They make it all separate to confuse you. There's child support and there's custody. And even though they're linked, they separate them out.
Yes, they sure do. Oh, no, you have to go to a custody hearing. But the custody is for this child support that you're trying to reopen. They don't care. You have to go to custody. So you have to go through the system all over again. But we want that money. You're going to pay that money. You're going to pay.
So even though he has an order saying that he has joint custody, the judge does not want to look at it. Are you seeing how this works? But whatever. You know our man LA. He came prepared. He showed up to court with his paperwork.
My
with
boy.
The custody order. He gave it to the judge so she could read it. He explains to the judge about the custody order.
All right. So, boy is on point. He brought everything. You think the judge actually heard him out? Go ahead and put it in the comments right now if you think they heard him out.
Even though she doesn't want to look at it.
So I explained to the judge, we went through all this custody thing, and I brought the custody order and all that, gave her the custody order. And I'm like, Your Honor, I do what I'm supposed to do with my daughters. I'm a father to my kids. They know me. It's not like I don't see them, I don't have them. I'm like, we spend our time together. So I told the judge, and I'm like, Your Honor, it ain't like I'm not doing my part. And the judge like, yeah, whatever. Like, she really didn't want to hear what I was saying.
And the judge says, fine. She'll send him her ruling in the mail.
And then I'm like, Your Honor, my ex said that she's working. How could she be working and get cash aid? You can't work and get cash aid.
Nope.
And the judge was like, well, I looked into that. She's not working. She's taking...
How did you look into it? How?
In the classes that DPSS require her to take. And I'm like, well, she told me she was work. She's like, well, you have to take that up with custody. I'm like, all right, okay, well, all right.
I looked into that. Did you hear that?
The judge was like, well, I looked into that. She's not working. She's taking the classes that DPSS require her to take.
The same judge that said that she doesn't know about the custody case because she's just sitting in is the judge that's now saying that she's looked into the classes that the mother's taking. Why is that? Because if the mother's taking classes, then she might need some help. You see what's going on?
I tell her...
Yep, I see what's going on.
I've been knowing this girl 10 years. She never had or tried to get a job. I said she's well enough and able enough to work. She just won't do it. And I was like, if we continue to provide her with a free way out, she never will go look for a job. And the judge was just like, didn't want to hear what I was saying.
Now, do you see what LA is doing? Let me give you another quick lead attorney legal.
He's trying to fill out the courtroom. I'm surprised the judge even let him talk that much, because normally a judge don't even give a damn what you have to say. Hey, deal that with another courtroom. We need to know how much your ass paying now. The judge ain't gonna say how much your ass, but we need to know how much you can afford to pay. I don't care about all that.
Lesson. When lawyers are in court talking to judges, talking to you members of the jury, what we are constantly doing while we're talking is we're taking your temperature. We're reading your body language. We need to know if you agree or disagree with what we're saying.
I just said that.
If you're on our side, then we can just shut up. But if we feel that you're not on our side yet, then we need to keep talking. We need to keep going. We need to keep making different arguments to convince you that we're right. LA is taking the temperature of the room, and he's noticed that things might not be going in his favor. So what does he do? He makes an excellent policy argument.
Your Honor, I've been knowing this girl 10 years. She never had or tried to get a job. I said she's well enough and able enough to work. She just won't do it. If we continue to provide her with a free way out, she never will go look for a job.
He's saying, listen, this lady has not worked in the past decade. She can work, but she won't work. If she gets more handouts, she will never look for a job. In fact, the whole reason that they're in court is because the child support stopped in the first place, and she applied for government aid instead of applying for a job. The arguments that this man is making are the same arguments that attorneys would make. This is fantastic to see.
And the crazy thing is, the judge asked me, how do I contribute when my daughters is with her?
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, well, Your Honor, that's a two-way question, because how does she contribute when my daughters is with me?
Judges don't care. They only care about when the kids is with her. They don't care about they supposed to be with you. With her. How do you contribute?
And she's like, that's not what I asked. So
There you go.
I said, I contribute by calling my daughters.
Good.
Speaking to them frequently,
Good.
you know? And she was like, okay. But it,
She was testing his behind. He answered that just correctly. Most fathers in that situation would be all dry. I buy this, I do this, I take my kid to the park, I go. No, don't get in your feelings. He answered that question. You heard how he answered that question? Straight to the point. I call, I communicate. I keep constant communication with the child. That's it. I don't have to go in no further detail about the J's I bought the kid and the fitted outfit I bought the kid or whatever the case may be. Don't get in all that. I keep communication. I establish communication. They know who daddy is. Done.
anyway,
Listen, sometimes a judge will ask you a question that lets you know the whole case is over. The whole case. This is one of those questions. When I heard him say this, guys, as an attorney who's been in and out of courtrooms for the last 19 years, I knew that it was over. And this is what you get. He has joint physical custody of his children. And the judge asked him how he contributes to his ex's home when his children are over there. It doesn't make any sense. These judges take advantage of you. Go to hearings where there are no attorneys and see how these judges speak to you. It is
Ooh, they speak to you like you a piece of shit. I will say it. Piece of shit.
clear to me that he's about to be railroaded.
so I said I contribute by calling my daughter, speaking to him frequently.
That's a perfect response. Perfect. Everything he said is lead attorney approved.
Like a month later, I get a letter in the mail. They reopened the child support case. They was gonna start going into my wages immediately.
There you go.
$600 every month.
What? Guys, I don't know what to say. If you are a man and if you have kids, this could absolutely be you. 100%. Guys, this is a normal case.
You heard this? A normal case.
That's the worst thing about it. This isn't a case where some judge went crazy. This is not a case where you can point to LA and say he did all of these things wrong. This is what happens. I've been seeing this for almost 20 years. This is it. Guys, you cannot tell me that there is a place for this. The reason that this video resonated with me is because I see it. I see it all the time.
All the time. Many different flavors.
And I am sick of it. That's why I'm using time out of my life to make a video about it.
Hey man, I appreciate you. making a video about this.
This video is so important to me because you need to know what is happening in courts all over the nation. You point to one thing that this man did wrong to deserve to be in this situation. Point to one. And if he doesn't deserve this, then why do we have a system that puts him in these circumstances? And the point is, it's not just him. That's the whole point of this video. It's thousands and thousands of men each and every year.
So I'm like, ain't this about a bitch? Now keep in mind, this was in March. I called the worker, the caseworker, the case manager. Can't get back in court. They're not seeing no cases right now. They'll let me know. So I filed F-300 paper and I think F-355 to modify my custody order. They send me a letter with a court date. I think it was in April something. Then before the court date, I get another letter saying that they was postponing it till July. I get another letter saying that they only send certain court cases. In my matter, it wouldn't be seen until further notice.
He filed to reopen his case in March, but you remember what happened in March of last year, right? You remember what was going on in the nation. All the courthouses were closed down, and that's not child support's fault. The courts should have closed. No one knew what was going on at the time. It was crazy. So he refiles, but he can't get back into court because it's closed down, and that's reasonable. That's just bad luck.
So I call the court. I speak to somebody, and the lady said that they wasn't seeing because of whatever. And I'm like, then when will I be able? She was like, our website will update once we able to take court cases in. In the meantime, you would have to have a resubpoena, and you would have to pay the fees and file again. And I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't even got seen for the first fees I just paid. She's like, well, you're gonna have to pay the fees over refile and resubpoena her. And I'm like, but my services wasn't met the first time I paid for everything and I subpoenaed her. But anyway, didn't get nowhere.
Say, do you hear this? Are you listening to this? His court case keeps getting rescheduled, even though he's paid all of the fees because of the court closures. Fine, that's understandable. But now they're telling him that he needs to refile and repay the fees all over again. This is completely unacceptable. Members of the jury, let me explain something to you. You're walking down the street and you get mugged. You'll get a letter from the courthouse telling you to show up to court. Your girl will say, hey, you got a letter from the courthouse. You're all, well, what's it say? She says, well, it says that you have to show up to testify against the guy who mugged you. You say, well, where do I show up? She says, well, the courthouse. Now, I have a question for you. Why do you have to show up at the courthouse? You have to show up at the courthouse because that's where the guy that mugged you will stand trial. The courthouse is where you will get justice. In the case with LA, though, he was mugged by the courthouse. The courthouse itself stole that man's money. They have a record of him paying. They have the file. They say, nope, that money's gone. File again.
Fellas, pay attention. God, I hope y'all still watching. Pay attention, fellas.
Yeah, this is outrageous. This man was lied on to get him back in court. The judge reopened the case based on that lie, and now the courthouse itself is stealing his money. How many times does a man need to get victimized? Do you not see this? Listen, no one cares. What if during what happened last year, LA had lost his job? Now he can't pay the $600 in child.
They will send his ass to jail. They will take his license, driver's license, whatever the case. Then they'll give him 3 months to come up with a payment, or whatever months. Then they'll send him to jail for 6 months. Get out. He have 30 days to make another payment, or go back to jail for over a year.
Support. Then what? Oh,
Not in that order, but somewhere in that range.
they suspend his license.
I just said that.
It's a 10% interest on the child support debt. They put him in jail. Take that man's freedom away. And for what? And, I mean, if you really just want to take it there, if he loses his job based on what was going around in the nation and he can't pay his child support, they're going to take his stimulus checks from him. But the stimulus checks were to help the people who lost their jobs based on what was going around in the nation, and now he can't get it. Do you see how they're coming after you every chance that they get? And let me say this, talking about...
I feel I need to run that back one more time.
The happened last year, LA had lost his job. Now he can't pay the $600 in child support. Then what? Oh, they suspend his license. California puts a 10% interest on the child support debt. They put him in jail, take that man's freedom away. And for what? And I mean, if you really just want to take it there, if he loses his job based on what was going around in the nation and he can't pay his child support, they're going to take his stimulus checks from it. But the stimulus checks were to help the people who lost their jobs based on what was going around in the nation, and now he can't get it. Do you see how they're coming after you every chance that they get? And let me say this,
Fellas, pay attention.
talking about the stimulus checks. When people say that these stimulus checks should be withheld from fathers who owe child support, they don't realize, or they don't care, that many of these fathers are great fathers like LA. Many of these fathers who owe child support actually have 50-50 custody of their children, but no one cares.
So I said, okay, how can I win?
You can't.
It's obvious that without a lawyer, they're not trying to hear nothing you say. So
And I said that earlier.
how can I win? I got a joint custody, and I'm still paying child support.
And guys, this part right here is what got me. This part right here is what hurt me. He is absolutely right. And when he said it, I felt it. This man is saying nothing but the truth. Members of the jury, which one of you can say that this is fair and just treatment of a solid father who has 50-50 custody of his kids? You hear all the time that men need to pay their child support, that men who don't pay are deadbeats. What are they talking about? If LA loses his job because of these national events and can't pay that $600 every month, even though he has joint legal, joint physical custody of his children, is he now a deadbeat? Guys, this is too much. Please hit the like button so YouTube will share this goddamn video. Both women and men need to see this. The child support system in so many ways is corrupt. Are there instances...
I'm just going to put it out there. And even to file or fight for a case for joint custody, the fact that he won, that's immaculate. That's great. That's hard to even do because it's almost like you have to do a parenting interview or you have to prove that yourself you're a good parent even though you didn't even have a chance to even be one. So they'll send you to these classes. You have to do supervised visitation. You have to take constant drug tests. And the person that's putting you through it, do they have to? No. They get help. They get voluntary help. You have to pass a home inspection while they don't. So like, do you have a bed for the child? Yes, I have a room and I have lights. But the other person don't even have a bed. Oh, don't worry. We have somebody volunteer to just give it to them. Do you have your lights on? Yes, I have my lights on. But the other person don't. Oh, don't worry. We'll give you, we'll help pay your light bill for you. So we'll turn your lights back on. Oh, the kid's been standing without lights for like 2 days. We got your bill taken care of. Wow. Fellas. Oh, you're almost behind on your stuff. All right. So let's finish this up real quick. I'm going to back this up.
Events and can't pay that $600 every month, even though he has joint legal, joint physical custody of his children. Is he now a deadbeat? Guys, this is too much. Please hit the like button so YouTube will share this goddamn video. Both women and men need to see this. The child support system in so many ways is corrupt. Are there instances where child support works? Yes. And are there instances where good fathers go to jail, where good fathers owe thousands and thousands of dollars with interest, where good fathers are defrauded, not only by the mothers, but by the system itself? Absolutely. Do not keep this information to yourself. Hit the like button so YouTube will share it. Now, guys, at the end, LA asks if we have any suggestions for him.
I hope this works. You know, if y'all got some suggestions, let me know. Help me out.
Well, I've got two. One for him and one for you. What's the
Okay.
suggestion to him? He says that he's going back to court and he wants to prove that the mother is violating the court order by refusing to meet him halfway for the pickups and drop-offs of the children. He says that he and his ex live 180 something miles away from each other. So this is a big deal. And he's keeping a journal to use in court which shows all the times that she violated the court order. The problem with the journal is that he's writing it. So the judge
Yeah.
will say, well, since you're writing it, you can just write anything, Ken.
Yeah.
You can just make stuff up and write it down in your little
Yeah, they ain't gonna care. Not like that.
journal. That's what the judge is going to say. I mean, what evidence does LA have that these judges will be on his side and believe what he writes in that notebook? He has evidence of the opposite. He has evidence that these judges will not believe anything that he says. What's a better way to get proof? What I tell my clients to do is to go to the exchange point and bring a certified copy of the order which mandates the mother to be at that location at that time with those kids. Wait 15 minutes. If she doesn't appear, call the police. The police will come out and they will make a police report stating the date, the time, the fact that the father was there, and the fact that the mother and the children were not. The fathers do this about 3 or 4 times. Now, when we walk into court, we are not walking in with handwritten notes that are written in the father's journal. We are walking in with certified records from the police. What better proof can you get than that? Now, when you call the police to tell them to come out and make that report, they are not going to be happy about it. Sometimes it's fine, but sometimes you will have to press them to come out. You have to press them to make their report. Police
Why do we have to even go so far?
often do not want to get involved in civil matters. That's why you need to bring a certified copy of your court order. Also, when you get to court, the judge is going to be frustrated that you are using police resources in your custody case. She's not going to like it. What do I say? Good.
I don't give a damn the judge don't like it. If I have to go this far to just get police resources to get this done, hopefully that'll make the judge angry enough at the other person. Like, why you wasn't there and met him? But then again, judge probably just want to throw him to jail. You're like, you're wasting resources.
Good. Nobody likes it. And the father would not have to call the police if the mother would abide by the court order. Now the judge will come down on the mother for not showing up. And it's not because she's on your side. These judges really
No.
don't care if the mother violates the court order visitation.
They don't give a
exchange
damn.
at all. They don't care. What the judge wants to stop is you calling the police. That's what she cares about. Judges and police are like this. See, you by yourself, you're not enough. You need to get someone else involved so that the judge will take you seriously. You need someone else. So call around to an attorney in your jurisdiction to see if this little trick will work for you. I've been doing it myself for 20 years and it has not failed me one time. Now, that tip was for LA. And now I have a tip for you. LA can't use this tip. This is just for you. And when I tell you this, I am not criticizing our man LA. He is doing exactly what he should do. But if someone made me, if someone forced me to find something wrong, anything, something that he could have done better, this is what I would say. Guys, you have to choose the mother of your children wisely.
Boom! That is so much. Choose the mother of your children. But here's the thing. There's a double-edged sword to that. Sometimes, hell, most of the time, let's be real, most of the time when you're sleeping with these women, you're not thinking about a kid. You're getting your rocks off. That's what it is. It's not like majority of men sleep with a woman and go like, I want to have a baby with you. Let's go. No. Most of it was like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. A couple of months later, wait, what? What happened? What? I got a court order? For what? It was one Alabama slammer. But, you know, there was a post I seen on Facebook, and it resonated with me. Her looks is not raising your child. It's her mindset. So if her mindset is super crazy, not really understanding, always insecure all the time, they're feeding that in your child. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just going to leave it right there. But we're going to continue so we can finish up.
You have to do it. Let's look at LA's ex. LAX. I do not know this woman, so I'm just stating the circumstances. None of this
Okay.
is about her character. But what do
Nope.
we have? We have an able-bodied woman who can work. That woman has chosen not to work for over 10 years. That woman lives off LA.
Hold up, and of course, we don't know the situation really between LA and the mother. Is she just being spiteful because they're not together? Did they have some type of argument? We don't know. He just going off of what was said to plead a case. Let me just put that little extra out there and back this up just a bit.
To choose the mother of your children wisely. You have to do it. Let's look at LA's ex. LAX. I do not know this woman, so I'm just stating the circumstances. None of this is about her character. But what do we have? We have an able-bodied woman who can work. That woman has chosen not to work for over 10 years. That woman lives off LA's child support. When the child support ended, that woman lied to the government to get government aid. So now she's living off the California taxpayer. That woman, unlike you, refuses to work. Now, I would bet you that LA, looking back, saw signs of this. People who are driven, people who are ambitious do not become lazy overnight. People with some business about themselves do not live off handouts. They do not live off you taxpayers, you members of the jury. LA knew the kind of woman this lady was when they met. He just chose to ignore it. Guys, you cannot ignore.
Or she was pretending to be something that she wasn't. You know how women put on makeup, put on wigs and weaves and all that so they can appear something else knowing that's not really them? It could have been that on the attitude level. Like, oh, I'm not worried about this, but I don't mean to use. Just like, think about it like this, fella, should help you out. You know how you go to the bathroom? Think about your female going to the bathroom. We all have to do a number 2 sometimes. That's the real her. Think about it like that. Just saying.
Ignore someone's personality. You need to have high expectations. If a person's personality does not meet those high expectations, you have to get them out of your life.
Personality, not looks. Personality. That man's speaking the truth. Back that up. Let's rehear the word.
Lady was when they met. He just chose to ignore it. Guys, you cannot ignore someone's personality. You need to have high expectations. If a person's personality does not meet those high expectations, you have to get them out of your life. Don't even let them in. And you certainly cannot start having children with them. Why do you just let lazy people into your life? For what? Man, you must raise your standards. Am I saying don't get married, don't have kids? No. Do what you want to do. But if you want to reduce the risk of getting thrown into an unjust system, you have to choose better. And to go along with this, listen. Listen, I know how life works. Any man can get caught once. I took one of those 23andMe tests a while ago, and I'll be honest, I had a little bit of that right there in the pit of my stomach when I was about to look at those results. Could the lead attorney have some unknown daughter floating around the streets of Atlanta? It can happen to any of us. No man can have or will have high expectations all of the time. Anyone can get caught, especially if you're younger. You can choose the wrong woman to be with, but you cannot. You expectations all of.
Superfine, GED, cocaine conviction. Oh my God! Whoa.
The time. Anyone can get caught, especially if you're younger. You can choose the wrong woman to be with, but you cannot. You just cannot get 3 daughters deep into a woman before you realize who she is. You have got to be on it. You have got to be fast.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Do not let it take so long. Our doctor in that other video was 4 children in before he realized that he was in a relationship with a woman who never wanted to work. So let's go back to our doctor. He says the system will encourage a loser to marry a hard worker. My question is, why the hell is the hard worker marrying the loser? Why are you men marrying losers? Set high expectations, and if you get caught...
Let me go ahead and throw it out there. We're not saying all women are losers. It's just the good men that actually get up and work dealing with a loser. A woman that don't want to work, come up with excuses for everything. And I mean everything. Like, she do her research to come up with excuses of why she shouldn't work, don't want to work, and all this other stuff. Like, she better have some form of income coming in. And I don't mean child support from another baby daddy.
Make it a one and done deal. None of this 3, 4, 5 kids and then talking about how lazy she is. We as men need to be more critical, more discerning. We have to step our game up. Now, I am not your attorney. I am the lead attorney, and I'm here to help you lawyer up.
You don't have to answer.
Sorry, I got a cough drop. Yeah, so you see that right there? Man was speaking all facts. All facts. So put in the comments down below what you think about this matter. Fellas, we got to do better. The fellas actually do work, do good, do right. Gotta do better. I wish I had this advice when I was younger. But hopefully I can help somebody. See y'all in the next video. Peace.